Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Last year I went on a budget road trip with my friend Mon in the south of France, and I can't recommend the route that we took enough. We visited some of the most amazing places, cute villages, and just honestly had the most amazing time ever. So I really hope this video can help you guys plan out your road trip if you are traveling to the south of France, and I will be linking as much as I can below in the description, so don't forget to check that out. And with that, let's get into the video. First up, we arrived and started our trip in Marseille purely because it's the biggest city in the area and we knew that it was going to be super easy to rent a car there. We spent the first night at Vertigo View Port Hostel and it was just perfect for one night. The rooms were clean and spacious, and we knew that we were just going to wake up early in the morning, grab the car and get out of Marseille. We picked up our car from Rent a Car, which was the cheapest option that we found at the time. So once we picked up our car in Marseille, we headed to this abbey, which was about an hour and a half driving. We spent the morning exploring the church and the famous lavender fields, which were in full bloom when we went there in July. Before we headed to Exxon Provence to spend the night, we stopped off at a cute little village called Gordes, which is essentially on a cliffside, and it's just the cutest little town ever. We stopped there, had some lunch and explored the cute little town, and I highly recommend adding that stop into your trip because not only does it break up the driving, but it's also just like no other village I'd ever seen before just set on the cliff face like that. It was incredible. Then the drive from Gordes to Exxon Provence was about an hour, and then that night we just ended up spending the time relaxing in our Airbnb. The next morning we woke up and explored the old town of Exxon Provence just a little bit, and then we drove an hour and a half to the cutest little Pottery Village. I'm gonna leave the name here because I know with my French skills I'm just going to butcher it, but again, I highly recommend adding this stop into your trip because not only is the town really super cute and you can see the pottery, which is the thing of the town, but also it breaks up the driving. You can have lunch, chill, walk around, get ice cream, just like another really cute town that you guys have to add onto your stop. That afternoon we made it to Lac St Quoi. Oh my god, my pronunciation. Again, leaving the name here, which is the lake essentially connected to Verdon Gorge. And what we did, and I highly recommend you guys do, is park your car right on the top of the hill, and then we just walked down through some bushes, like down a little bit of a cliff face, not dangerous. Then we had a part of the lake just entirely to ourselves. It was so relaxing. We ate lunch, went for a swim. I don't know, it was just like this secluded little part of the lake, and after chilling there in the afternoon we made it to our homestay for the night. And this night we stayed in my favorite accommodation of the whole trip. I actually wish that we booked 2 nights there because it was just so peaceful, off the beaten path, and it really felt again like we were just secluded in this south of France kind of oasis. For dinner that night, the owners cooked us a traditional French meal from the region, and it just really felt like home, cozy vibes there. Then the next morning we headed back to Verdon Gorge, where we rented a pedaloo and spent the morning exploring the gorge. You guys, you have to get there at 8 a.m. during the peak summer period. We did that, and when we finished and returned our pedaloo, we saw the queue was over 50 meters long to rent like a pedaloo or a kayak, because there are not many places where you can rent. There are like 2 places where you can rent them from there, so you definitely want to get up early and make your way to the gorge, rent the pedalo first thing to beat the rush, because you could be waiting hours and hours, and That's not what you want. Anyway, after chilling at the Gorges for the morning, we made our way to St. Paul de Vence, which was about a 2-hour drive. St. Paul de Vence is another very, very cute town, like the cutest town that I saw on the whole entire trip, but it's very expensive. It's full of artisanal shops and people walking around like, you know, with their Louis Vuittons. But I really loved the town. They have a massive viewpoint overlooking the coast, and it was just really beautiful and cute. I definitely recommend making this stop there just to check out the galleries, the boutiques, and also the people watching. That was just amazing. Okay, so from there we headed to Nice, and we spent the next 2 nights there just because we wanted to break up the driving and kind of just relax by the beach for a couple of days. You guys should know that parking in Nice is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be so hard for you to find a park on the street. We ended up putting our car in private parking, and it was just so ridiculously expensive for the 2 nights, so keep that in mind. But Nice was just amazing, so nice, such chill vibes, like palm trees and like luxury cars around every corner. It felt kind of like Miami or like the Gold Coast of France. One really cool thing to do is to head off on a day trip to Monaco, which Monique actually did, but I didn't because I'd already done it on a previous trip to Nice, and I just wanted to spend the day, you know, chilling by the beach. So after a very chill couple of nights in Nice, I mean, how many times am I gonna say chill in relation to Nice? We drove along the coastline exploring the richy towns of Saint-Tropez and Cannes, whatever, which I was honestly underwhelmed by. We both really felt like we made the right decision in not booking accommodation in these places. So anyway, our final destination for the trip was Bandol, and admittedly, it's not the prettiest part of the coastline, but we ended up booking a last-minute accommodation, and it was kind of the cheapest, best option we could find. But we used that as our base to go out and explore Les Calanques. If I could take my time back, I would probably want to stay in Cassis, but the accommodation there is no doubt super, super pricey. But exploring Les Calanques was the best way to end our trip. You guys should know as well, in summer they are normally closed due to bushfire risk, which was the case when we went, unfortunately. But there are many other beaches, kind of Calanques, and we just you know, had a picnic and chilled out on the beaches there, which were honestly, I think, just as beautiful as what Les Calanques themselves would have been. So after spending the 2 nights in Bandol, we woke up super early in the morning to drive back to Marseille and give back our rental car, which was all just smooth sailing. And then we spent the day exploring Marseille, which again is very underwhelming, and I would definitely recommend spending as little time as possible in this city because there's so many other more beautiful places to explore in this region. Now, before I end this video, I want to give you guys some rapid fire tips. First off, set your GPS to no tolls. That way you're going to be taking the back roads and you'll be able to see the most beautiful scenery, stop off at different places along the side of the road, see the flower fields, take photos and all that kind of stuff. You get the most beautiful scenery when you're off on these off the beaten path kind of roads, so definitely set your GPS to no tolls. Parking is really expensive in the big cities and there's just no way to avoid it. There are a lot of speed cameras, so make sure that you're driving to the speed limit. And you can easily do this trip on a budget as we did. I think I spent around 800 euros the entire week, and that was including the car rental, which was definitely the most expensive part of the whole entire trip. But let me know in the comments below if you guys would like me to do a budget overview of this trip, because I think that could be really interesting and insightful for you. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have made it this far, I would really appreciate your support by leaving a like or a comment, and most importantly, enjoy your trip in the south of France. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!